What if I told you that an important part of Zimbabwean culture is quietly disappearing? This isn't just about a drink, but an ancient art form that has been passed down through generations.
Thina siyazi ukuphekwa sivuthwa ngotshwala besintu. Yes, sikhulisa ngabo. Yes, sithethela ngabo. Senza yonke imikhubo mvela amalimi okuhlakula. Yeni lokho okufuna saphela lokutshwala kuthiwa ngobesintu.
We are our future. There's nothing wrong in going to towns because towns asilethela amakhuba. We must have where we farm so as to supply our people. Badle ukudla kwabo, badle inyama, badle amabele, badle utshwala, banathe bagane.
Singabulala amasiko ethu sithatha amasiko abanye abantu siwenza wethu.
Kwakuthiwa ndabo tate babo ndabo bayinothama ikintu chakanaka kunayibo.
The past number of years, we've been on a mission to document the incredible, intricate process of traditional Zimbabwe beer brewing before it's too late. Hi, Principal Mahlang here. So for me, the journey began at home with Umagriza in Makwego North, a township located in Bulawayo. So Umagriza and the other women of this township would methodically brew this beverage every last Friday of the month. My first documentary on this topic was dedicated to these two women.
Yeah, mina Umqombothi ya Sibanda. Lapha thina singotshwala besintu. Utshwala besintu utshwala tshwala. Ingwebu. Ebizwa kuthiwa ingwebu. Ngoba nxa sesiwupheka lapha lengwebu ibrewer lisala phansi.
Who up to today are still practicing that craft. This wasn't just a chore, it was a powerful ritual. The brew was central to Umgido. Umgido is a sacred ceremony where one communicates with their ancestors through dance, through music, through beer, and also through food. For centuries, women were the keepers of this knowledge, and in many African cultures, the role of brewing and cooking were considered identical, solidifying women's pivotal role in our community. So in urban areas like Bulawayo, this traditional brewing also served as a sustainable source of income for some of these women, until in 1912, where the commercialization of this art was passed on. This commercialization, however, stripped women of their power and their livelihood. During the colonial, a different kind of force was exerted. Black people were only allowed to consume this traditional beer in designated beer halls. That's why you see, like in the city of Bulawayo, there are a lot of beer halls within townships, and some of the money that were of the proceeds of the sale from the alcohol was used to build other townships in Bulawayo. An example is that of Njube Township. So it's a striking and somber irony that many of these beer halls in Bulawayo are named after women, perhaps as a twisted tribute or as a way to mask the shame that disempowerment. So in the Ndebele culture, this traditional beer is known as Utshwala. This is the reason is before that was the only type of alcohol that was there. And also in other communities like in Zulu, it's known as Umqombothi. Its creation is a fascinating blend of art and science. The main ingredient is amabele, sorghum, often mixed with other grains like pearl millet or maize. Maize is a newer addition to the recipe as it was introduced in the 17th century in Southern Africa by the Portuguese traders. The process begins with mixing the sorghum and millet or maize with warm water, allowing it to sit overnight. The next morning, it's brought to a boil. This is where the magic happens, and the starter, often upho, is finger millet, or you can also use sorghum. The mixture is then left in a warm place to ferment for several days. Finally, the grain is strained, leaving behind a thick porridge-like liquid. That residual is known as Utshwala or Umqombothi. So why is this art form disappearing? It's a perfect storm of modern challenges. The rise of urbanization and Westernization has led to a significant decline in the production of Umqombothi. The knowledge of transfer from the older to the younger generation has been fractured. Add to that the overwhelming presence of commercial beers and the general shift in taste, and it's easy to see why appreciation of traditional brews is fading so quickly. The challenges are practical. Access to the right ingredients in this modern setting is difficult. The ingredients that we spoke about, the sorghum, the pearl millet, the finger millet, and also the good quality maize that's needed. There's also the modern infrastructure doesn't support traditional brewing methods, and there's intense competition from diverse corporations. The saddest part, however, is the broader loss of cultural heritage. As I've traveled across the country, I've seen how the disappearance of this art form has affected community connection and even the appreciation of our local food. With fewer people understanding the link between our food and our traditional beverages, the younger generation risks losing touch with their roots, preferring a fast-paced urban lifestyle. But not all hope is lost, and bakhona abantu abenza umsebenzi lo ukuthi belondoloze utshwala lo. So there's a growing movement to reclaim this tradition. Firstly, let's not forget the incredible health benefits of Umqombothi. It's a nutrient powerhouse packed with amino acids, prebiotics, probiotics, fiber, and it's very good for your gut health. This isn't just a cultural staple, it's a healthy one. I'm personally inspired by individuals and organizations who are working tirelessly to preserve this brew. I know of a wonderful lady known as Melissa Nonhlanhla. She runs a page called Let's Talk Heritage, solely with the mission of documenting our diverse cultural heritage as a country and also at the continent at large.
So this area that we are at, right round, was King Lobengola's first royal capital before he moved to Bulawayo, where there's the State House now.
She's also learning about the brewing process, the practical steps of brewing this brew. Then there's an organization called Amagugu International Heritage Center, which is located 60 kilometers from the city of Bulawayo. They offer lessons on how you can learn on brewing this brew. And also, they've also been doing the documentation. And I've been to Amagugu and I've worked with Amagugu a lot. And they offer really practical lessons on brewing Umqombothi. I also know of countless elderly women across the country who are eager to share their knowledge with anyone willing to learn. The innovation is also incredible. I'm inspired by people in South Africa that are hosting Umqombothi brewing competitions and are finding new ways to use this brew. I know of a person who's developing what's known as Umqombothi ice cream. The kind of creativity coupled with efforts to make this beverage a centerpiece of our cultural tourism could be the key to ensuring the beauty of our science, and fermentation is never forgotten. I once read that the power of cultural preservation lies in a simple fact. The eagerness of the young to learn must be greater than the eagerness of the old to teach. To truly preserve our culture, we have to celebrate and embrace the traditions that have stood the test of time and carried our values across generations. So this isn't just a call to preserve a drink, but it's a call to action also to preserve our culture and our heritage. I encourage you to seek out and appreciate these cultural experiences. So when you travel, when you come to Zimbabwe, just try all these local brews. There are now companies, corporations that are doing these traditional, the traditional beer. But also, like I said, the people who are still brewing the authentic brew that we know. So just reach out, get a taste, understand how the process is done, learn about how the process is done, and if you can document, take photos, and also just share with when you go back. And also within here in Zimbabwe, if we can get our children also to appreciate that process. So remember, it's part of our fermentation, which is also identical when we brew amaheo. So by doing so, you're not just tasting a beverage, you are helping save a legacy. Thank you for watching. Principal Mahlau. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, keep the love, keep the mood. Ciao.